Assalamu alaikum and peace be unto you. Welcome to Sajdah's Monday Morning Motivation. And we're going to be tackling the question, does the Black woman need a public makeover? We'll be right back in 5 minutes. Grab your coffee, tell a friend, like and subscribe. We see you in a minute.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum, conscious entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Sajdah Wendy Muhammad channel. You are tuned in to Sajdah's Monday morning motivation. Assalamu alaikum simply means peace be unto you. It's the greatest and most powerful prayer that you could wish upon someone. And so I'm extending that to you. I know you have so many things to do, and I appreciate that you show love and support. I'm your host, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. For those of you who don't know me, I know we got a lot of people joining today because of the topic who aren't familiar with the show. I'm an international business and real estate professional. I have developed millions of dollars of real estate and consulted on millions of dollars of business. I'm an artist, and business is my canvas. I hate the way we feel compelled to define ourselves by what we've accomplished. I prefer to define myself by what I'm striving for, and that is as a powerful manifester, a God. Congratulations to our sister Vice President Kamala Harris, who is now officially running for president on the Democratic ticket. I was on the Brown Girls fundraising call last night, and it was a really, really powerful call with some real powerful, hard-hitting sisters on there. I mean, I don't even want to start naming them, but I'll tell you a few. Sister Jonetta Cole, Star Jones, oh man, you name it, they were on there, okay? And so it was powerful. Shout out to my sister Ebony Lucas for reminding me that the call was going on. Look, I think all ratchetness that involves Black women on television should be removed immediately right now. Okay. All right, y'all. We're going to get into this topic. All right. Let me set the tone for our discussion this morning. Now, I posed a question that we're going to tackle today. Does the Black woman need a public makeover? I thought of this question when I pondered how Vice President Kamala Harris's run for the White House would impact the image of the Black woman around the world. Let me warn y'all, some of you may be offended by this conversation this morning. If you are not about love and closing the gap that exists among Black women, then you should turn this off right now. We have some real issues that exist among Black women in this country, and if you are uncomfortable or offended by our desire to heal our womanhood, then this talk is not for you. This history of how we got like this is not pretty, nor is it easy to tell without someone getting offended. But in order for us to heal, we have to explore and learn and do better. History is best qualified to teach us. This is not directed at any one woman or any particular man, nor is it to hate on anyone regardless of where they are in the various stages of spiritual development or who they are today. This conversation is rooted in love and awareness so that we can heal. And anyone who knows me will tell you I am a lover and an uplifter and not a hater or someone who treats people harshly, even when sometimes they deserve it. So let's start there. I, as a Muslim woman, has been taught to dress and conduct myself a certain way. And I'm not even here this morning trying to convince anyone to dress and conduct themselves in the manner that I've been taught. I do, however, believe that much of what we see in the world related to the image of the Black woman is not our fault. But even though it's not our fault, we now have a responsibility for the image that we allow to be portrayed of ourselves. This is a difficult subject, not only because of the world we live in, but primarily because if we, as women, have no concept of who we are and whose we are, it is difficult to get us to choose a lifestyle that is currently unpopular and doesn't appear to pay the bills. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that super chat if you're feeling what we're talking about this morning. Y'all know how to support. Just go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises. You can support the channel or just hit the super chat button. So what I'm aiming to do this morning during this conversation, primarily towards, I'm aiming this towards those of us that love ourselves. So if you are a Black woman out there and you're watching and you love yourself, if you're a brown woman out there and you love yourself, if you're anybody out there, a Black man, brown man, Asian man, whoever, doesn't matter the race, but you love us, then you should be watching this. But most importantly, I'm talking as a woman who loves us to other women who love us. We can't love ourselves and hate on our sisters. We can't love ourselves and refuse to support our sisters. We can't love ourselves and form cliques and elite social groups that push other women out. We can't love ourselves and see another sister in need and turn our back. Again, it's very difficult to talk to women about this subject when they have not been taught to love themselves and accept themselves. So I'm talking to you, those who love themselves. So understand that this conversation is born out of love. It's about closing the gap that exists between us as Black females, gaps that exist along color lines, light-skinned girls getting bullied in school, dark-skinned girls who can't find a date for prom because no one finds them attractive, gaps that exist along religious lines, Muslim women who think they're better than Christian women who spread propaganda about Muslim women, gaps that exist along the lines of age, older women competing against younger women thinking that older women are irrelevant, gaps that exist as a result of professions, income, and even size and weight. Let's close the gap. We need a makeover, sisters. Black women need a makeover today. We need to close the gaps that exist among us today. I want to see y'all active in the chat. Give me your comments. Give me your feedback. You see, the envy and jealousy that exists in our community among women is surreal. We see it play out on television every night, on our popular reality shows, in the blog culture. And then we go out like zombies and mimic that same behavior. It's almost like we have no behavioral references other than these reality shows, the blogs, or 60-second social media clips. We are suffering so badly from trauma, especially financial trauma, that we are selling our souls and selling one another out for a chance at a few dollars and some likes. I see y'all in the chat. I'm going to keep going because we got a lot to cover today and we may go past the hour. Let me hit you with this. We're losing our little girls, y'all. Wake up. Many of our little girls are circling the drain because many of them, not all of them, but many are abandoning the thousands of dollars of investments we are spending on education and opting for a lifestyle they see on reality shows instead. Some of them are wearing the physical and mental uniform of women who work as sex workers and strippers, while the strippers and the sex workers are trying to catch a break and earn enough money so they can go and build a family. They don't want the life anymore. But some of our little girls are chasing the very lifestyle that people in the lifestyle are trying to get away from. We have a strong, pervasive sexual subculture in our community that nobody is talking about, but it's directly impacting our image, our relationships, and our safety. So what will it mean to have a Black woman running for president? What will it mean to have a Black woman as president? Our hatred of one another is so palpable that we ourselves as a whole don't even blink an eye at the fact that Black women are only 7% of the U.S. population, yet nearly 20% of all missing persons cases. There is a small percentage of sisters out here working to turn that statistic around. But some of our own Muslim daughters are just one text away from becoming a sex worker. Some of our own Christian daughters are one date away from becoming a missing person. Our young Black sisters are disproportionately victimized by sex trafficking. The emergency rooms around the country are filled with our young sisters popping pills, being raped, and we are not talking about it. Black children comprise 53% of all juvenile prostitution arrests. That's more than any other racial group. Even in communities where a small percentage of the population is black, black girls are disproportionately trafficked. Let me give you an example. In the state of Louisiana, black girls account for nearly 49% of child sex trafficking victims, though black girls comprise only 19% of the state's youth population. I could go on and on, but you get my point. We cannot continue to allow our image to be degraded and depressed and assume that our young girls are not going to suffer. I want to play an audio recording of Dr. Ava Muhammad being interviewed by Sister Charlene Muhammad discussing the responsibility that we have as women who love ourselves. I see y'all in the chat. I'm going to come back and get y'all. Pay attention to this and check this out. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear it okay.
You know, one of the things that, and again, it goes back to a nation rising no higher than its woman. Mm-hmm. There is a profound level of responsibility on Black women who do love themselves. And there is a significant number of Black women, starting with those who have come into these teachings. Mm-hmm. But we've got to come out of being judgmental. See, what we're going to have to do is close the gap that you talked about earlier that exists in and among man's world, which you just talked about, then I would know I'm not better than her. I just slipped through the net. You know, that we live in a society that is designed to keep 85% of us in bondage. And so if we don't let go of a white woman trait, which is jealousy and vindictiveness, because among her other traits, that's one we picked up. You know, our natural character trait is mother, nurture. So when I see a woman younger than me, when I see a woman having more difficulty than me, my natural urge is to go for her and to help her. And we've got to return to that. And it doesn't take that many of us to do it. We've got to reintroduce that factor into the Black community, because it's that mother instinct that got us to this point. You know, that desire to reach out and lift up and inspire. You know, to see our sister not only physically, but intellectually and spiritually, to feed her and not look at her like we're better. Wow. And the first group that should be like that is the so-called Christians and Muslim women who claim we love God. And if we're so into God and so into Jesus, then where's the love? Where's the desire to enlighten as opposed to judge? Who are we to judge? You know, what did Jesus say? Let him without sin throw the first stone.
What did Minister Farrakhan say? I don't know if it was closing the gap. The minister's got so much out there, but he was saying,
oh my God, I know.
He said the sun does not condemn what it is here to shine a light on. You know, it shines light on everything, and it starts spinning. Oh God, that's what you made me.
That's right. It's just the manifestation of Allah's beneficence, and that's the divine trait, beneficence. Where you just give out of your abundance. You don't care who benefits. Everyone benefits. You know, you cook the meal, and whoever comes to the table, let them eat. You know.
Yeah.
You know, you don't say, well, you know, why is she here? Who brought her? And that's a real ugly trait we picked up being around white women.
I don't know if you recall it or remember it, but I didn't witness it, but a friend told me she fell in love. She always liked Mary J. Blige's music, right? She said, but I fell in love with Mary J. Blige when she was doing an interview, and she was talking about how she had kind of come back because she went through the drug period, but she was at a place where there were other well-to-do sisters, but wherever she was, they were laughing at her. And she was telling the interviewer, I told them, teach me. And my friend was saying that's when she really fell in love with Mary J. Blige. Like, wow.
I remember seeing her, Mary J. Blige, at one of the Essence music festivals, and when she came out after she did her, she came out on the stage singing and performed, and then she stopped and talked to the audience a little while, and she sang. I can't remember the song, but another sister in the entertainment industry wrote the song, and she thanked her for writing it and for letting her perform it and have it. And she said, because you don't hardly see that. Mm-hmm. There's so much envy and jealousy, and the people just cheered and lit up, because it's something that a lot of us walk with, but it's not discussed very much. We're made to feel, and we've all had that experience where we walk into a room full of black women and we feel like we're from Mars.
Yeah.
As opposed to being embraced. And somehow, I guess unwittingly, we do it too, because we all know the being the target of it, but none of us would lay claim to being responsible for it. And sometimes we become cliquish in our daily comings and goings, and we may not realize that's what we're doing. Whatever little cluster we have formed or have become a part of, we tend to exclude others. So it may be 5 or 6 of us in somebody's living room, and somebody we don't know comes in, and we put up the wall instead of the embrace. And we really have to change that, because out of this love that we develop for one another, we'll begin to produce a different kind of man. Yeah. It will produce men that will be the protector and provider that we want. We have to produce that. Every man living came out of a woman. Every single last one. So we get the first shot at his brain.
That's deep. It's like the minister says, if you want men, produce them. Make them. Think well enough of your sister to produce a son for her daughter.
That's right.
And then the last question is, literally, really, you got to know your image. It's just like larger than life, when I called you in the car, I said, Ava, the brother turned around like,
oh,
and that's just
the deep to me. Oh my
no, but it's so real. It's like my little girl is like, did you get it? Did you talk to her? You want to talk to her? When? Can I give her the greetings? It's like the Minister Farrakhan effect. And so to be able to talk to you, I have to contain myself and be like, okay, stay in your zone. Don't get so, because we can get starstruck, but that's not the word I'm using. It's not trivial like that. Like in awe that I remember you have another question coming, right? So I said that to say, I think it's fitting for this interview if I ask you what has made you the image that you are. I said all of that to say, you are this larger than life image to a lot of people. And what has made you that? Your parent, what is in you so that people, because they can go right now to the webcast, or they can even visit Mosque Mariam and they might catch you in a hall. People can see you, like we have these images that are real. So for the little girls reading, what makes a Minister Ava Muhammad?
Yes, ma'am. all praise is due to Allah first and foremost. And, I think I am an example of the value of a mother and father who love each other and love their children. And my mother and father were married 13 years before they had their first child, which was me. And then I was followed by my two sisters. And my parents never got over, especially my dad, they never really got over the thrill of being parents. They loved being parents. And I think that what that did, because if you met my two sisters, they are the same as me, even though they're very different, and they're in different fields of endeavor. But all three of us, have a very strong presence, and all three of us draw people to us. And it's because my mom and dad had such love for us and placed such value in us, and we were able to evolve with that just of acceptance at our core. When a human being is made to be loved and accepted, you're going to get the very best out of that person. And when that person encounters other people, those other people feel that. Because if you feel loved, then you project love.
I wanted to make sure that we heard all of that because I love the end. If you feel love, then you project love. And that's why I posed the question that we're tackling today. Does the Black woman need a public makeover? Do we need to make sure that we demonstrate love towards one another instead of making each other feel like aliens? This right now is not a time for division. And I actually wrote this show before our sister, before we got the good news about our sister yesterday. So I feel like we need more diverse images in the media. We need Muslim women more in the forefront. You need to see those of us living this lifestyle. What do I mean by a makeover? The dominant image of Black women, especially in America, that is prevalent in the media and in the households is that of the hypersexualized, scantily clad, bodily enhanced, angry, fighting woman, heavily influenced by a dominant sexual subculture. This lifestyle is so dominant that we are living each other. We are looking at each other, especially our preteens and teens, and even women who are well up into their 80s are dropping it like it's hot. We need a makeover. We're living this dominant lifestyle. We're losing our babies. What is a makeover? Check this out. Somebody can put this in the chat for me. A makeover is a complete transformation or remodeling of something, especially a person's hairstyle, makeup, or clothes. I'm going to say it one more time. A makeover is a complete transformation or remodeling of something, especially a person's hairstyle, makeup, or clothes. Let me tell you a story about how images affect the way we're treated. They affect our ability to do business and to be taken seriously. These images affect those of us who dress modestly or those of us who wear a suit to work every day. We're not exempt, nor are any of us immune from its effect. Because for many of us, we've changed our attire, but we have not changed our mindset. Some of us are dressing more modestly and covering our hair, but we're still haters and hard-hearted. Others are wearing suits and designer dresses, but we're throwing drinks at each other and slashing each other's tires. But we think that because we wear a different uniform, that we are free from the effect of a ratchet subculture that is coloring our image as a community. I say we have to stop ignoring this as a people, especially as Black women. And for as much as we want to think that we are exempt, our babies are directly affected. I'm talking to sisters who say they love themselves. those who claim to know who they are. We have a responsibility. You know, Allah showed me this issue when I was just right out of college. I mean, literally demonstrated it to me and put me in a situation that was really metaphysical. And I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again here today. It was nearly a metaphysical experience. I'm not kidding. I was in Central America in the 90s. I had been working on a welfare to work program where I began training women on how to dress for success. So we were showing women the difference between dressing for an interview and dressing for the club. Okay. That particular program took me all the way to Central America. Now, when we got there, it was super hot. So I had gone out and purchased these cotton flowy dresses that weren't sundresses with full arms and chest or back out, but they were conservative dresses, just something cotton and flowy that made me feel responsible and beautiful, but I could still be nice and cool. I was walking with a group of colleagues, a group of the people we travel with, and a group of men who were local to the area that we were in began to kind of gather around our group. I thought maybe they were going to ask us for money, but a lot of people in the group got visibly nervous. So we made our way to an area where there were more people. And the guys started singing something. People in the group started bobbing their head and smiling. It sounded like hip hop, so I kind of turned my ears to them, and they were saying, "Pumps and a bump, pumps and a bump," and looking dead at me. I was so embarrassed, but I wasn't sure why. We went on, got on. As a matter of fact, I was so embarrassed because I knew they didn't even speak English, but they knew enough to look at me and say, "Pumps and a bump, pumps and a bump." We went on, got on the bus that they had for us, checked into our rooms. When I got in the room, I grabbed the remote and turned on the television. And right on the television was BET with the MC Hammer Pumps and a Bump video playing. I was like, whoa. I watched the video in amazement. Obviously, I've seen it 1,000 times. I actually love the song. But what was happening in this moment? I said, is this the universe and some quirky law of attraction joke? Or was it the fact that there were very few channels, none of which had Black women on them except the Black woman in BET on these videos? And if you know the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. So some of these people had never seen an image of a Black American woman outside of these music videos. How did this affect the image that these people had on me? Did it put me in danger? Did it affect my money? Did I miss out on a contract or a job because of that image? This is why I asked the question, do Black women need a makeover? What will be Vice President Kamala Harris's run for the White House? What will it do for the image of Black women? And what can we make sure that it does for the image of Black women? What will be the Kamala Harris effect? And is the responsibility all on her? No. It's a collective responsibility on all of us who say we love ourselves. I'm going to play another video for you. I want you to check out this video. It's Dr. Ava speaking again, but this time she's talking about the images of Black women in the media. Check this out. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear it okay.
Your text, the first thing that came to my mind is the portrayal of the Black woman through media image as self-hating, angry, miserable, vindictive, and all of these are fictitious. All of those characterizations of the Black woman are, in my judgment, fictitious. You know, due to the fact that in Western society and in America, which, as Minister Farrakhan has so clearly proven and demonstrated to us, and of course our experience bears him witness. This is a society that is built on the idea of white supremacy. And because white supremacy is also a fictitious concept, the idea that Caucasian people are inherently superior spiritually, intellectually, and morally to the melanin-dominated people of the world. Well, in order to sustain that illusion or that falsehood, consistent effort has to be made, and it has to be aggressive, to portray Black people and people who are melanin-dominated, Black people, Latino people, the Native Americans, the so-called Asian people, all are projected in various degrees of inferiority. But of course, at the core of that is the Black woman, because we are taught that a nation can rise no higher than its woman, and we know that that is true. And so in order to bring a people down, the target is the mother of that people, the female. And in the case of Black people in America who were kidnapped and brought here as slaves, in order to justify our horrific history here, there has to be a portrayal of the Black woman as being subhuman. That consistent theme has manifested itself in different ways over the centuries. And currently, the dominant portrayal of the Black female is a creature who is driven by sexuality and urge. We are portrayed as falling into essentially one of two or three categories. We are either oversexed and put our bodies on display for no other reason than to have physical interaction with males with no noble goal in that. In other words, we're not seeking romance. We are not seeking love. We are absolutely not seeking marriage. We are a step above a dog or a cat. And so we focus on the physical assets completely. And so all we care about is hair, makeup, tight clothes. That's one projection of us. Another projection of us is an obese, miserable, angry, manless female who is unattractive and hates the world because she is unattractive. And then there's another projection of us as a professional woman who has assimilated into white society as far as is allowable. And a woman who looks, acts, sounds, and projects herself to, as much as possible, look like a Caucasian woman. And you see that in corporate America, and you see it even more pervasive in the entertainment world. And so you see a consistent projection of Black female entertainers who are on the covers of magazines with blonde hair, weaves and wigs and contact lenses and heavy makeup that narrows the nose. And you'll notice that when a Black woman enters into a particular area of entertainment, she she may look one way when she comes out, and within a year or two, she has morphed into that same look. And I'll use, for example, Beyonce, Carrie Hilson, Rihanna, Alicia Keys, Jennifer Hudson. I saw a picture just this very day in People magazine of Serena and Venus Williams, and I didn't even recognize Serena Williams.
Wow.
Because she was so heavily made up, and you would never know she had that beautiful dark complexion that she has.
Right.
Star Jones, the lawyer, who is on the Today Show in the mornings, sitting there with her legs crossed, with her dress hiked up almost to the crotch area, just like the white females, with the straight hair, the weave, and it demonstrates a complete rejection of the natural self. Now, that's not to say we should not groom ourselves, because certainly the other side of that is, if you look at the white female, they devote quite a bit of time and money to imitating the black female form. They do everything they can to develop a derriere, lip injections, tanning salons are a $1 billion industry. However, here's the difference. Because all females are made by nature to seek to please the male of the species. And so it's completely natural for us to groom our hair, style our hair, do our eyebrows. That's very natural. Even in the animal world, the mammal world, animals lick themselves and groom themselves. But the difference is, only the black woman is accused and charged with hating herself because she does that. And where the fiction comes in is that we copy these styles not because we hate ourselves, but because that's what's put in front of us all our lives. See, we live in a white-dominated society that projects the white female as the standard of beauty. And it's natural for every female to seek to be beautiful. So it's not the product of an innate dislike of ourselves. We love ourselves. And this is why we come across as almost being schizophrenic or psychotic, because we go in and out of our natural self, which is a strong, powerful being who's capable of leadership, who can take nothing and make something out of it. Those are not masculine traits in the natural world that we come out of. They're only deemed masculine in the Caucasian world, because the black woman is the mother of civilization, and the only one that is stronger than her is the black man. And so the weak-boned, weak Caucasian male, in order to sustain and maintain his false appearance as being the masculine standard, has to constantly suppress the black woman. Because by nature, because she's melanin dominated, she's actually more powerful than the white male.
All right. I'm posing the question today. What does our sisters run for the presidency do for our image as black women, whether she wins or not? Let's use this as an opportunity to clean up and fix our image. We have to fix years of history when it comes to that. And just so that you guys don't think that we're just coming up with some propaganda, I want to show you where this comes from. And I want to show you how real it is and how it's been used to impact our psyche and how it continues to impact us to this very single day. And let me tell you something. A lot of times we like to just preach, oh, it's the knowledge of self, it's the knowledge of self. Well, we got our babies oftentimes studying the knowledge of self, and then they go out and abandon themselves because this stuff is so powerful. So it's going to take more than just teaching. We got to get in here. We got to get in here and make a difference. We got to be seen. We got to show more differences. We have to actively take part in the makeover of our image. We have to. We need a makeover. Let me tell y'all where this comes from. Check this out.
Lord, got to get out.
The Mammy.
You tell me who you want done, and I'll do the hell out of it.
The Jezebel.
Shut it up! You have such a big baby.
And the Sapphire. Submissive, sexy, sassy. 3 stereotypes of Black women that return to our screens over and over again.
The Mammy is probably the most familiar to people. It's usually a maid, heavy, taking care of the family.
You is kind, you is smart, you is important.
She is asexual. She doesn't have really a life of her own. She's really only there to support the family.
And probably one of the most famous examples is Mammy from Gone with the Wind.
Just hold on and suck it.
Somebody who is always seeking out to put aside her own desires, her own needs for white families, white men, white women, white children.
Meet Sugar Hill, sexiest, deadliest chick in town.
Ollie and Anna seemed so perfect. And what people didn't know was she was screaming for help.
This marriage is not healthy anymore.
I threw my whole life away for her.
The second stereotype is the Jezebel, and that's someone who's generally oversexed.
Is mysterious.
Her only power is in her body and in the influence she has over men.
Unattainable.
And then finally, the Sapphire character, I think that's seen in TV more often than anything else.
Get some Kleenex, wipe your nose, because it ain't that damn sad.
The Sapphire is usually a sharp-tongued, manipulative woman who emasculates her husband.
There was actually a character called Sapphire Stevens on the Amazon Andy show.
And I guess you think you could cook, clean, and get along just fine all by yourself.
I does.
The representation of the angry Black woman. And that's kind of metamorphosized to today, where we just have sassy, angry Black women who doesn't take anything from anybody.
Caricatures of Black women have been around in Western culture for centuries. They're rooted in the transatlantic slave trade, when stereotypes were used to commodify Black bodies and justify slavery. These characters were popularized in what Americans called minstrel shows, comedic performances in which white actors, in blackface, lampooned Black people just to entertain other whites. By the early 1900s, minstrel shows were fading in popularity, but the stereotypes endured. They made the jump to film, then electronic media, and they have survived to this day.
Throughout history, more often than not, Black women are depicted in reductive ways that denies the different experiences and emotions that are a part of their life.
Aunt Jemima. Perfect pancakes in 10 shakes.
Depictions of Black women in the media throughout time have been used to put forward ultimately oppressive ideologies.
Generalizations are useful, I constantly say this, but they're also shortcuts. And it feeds into our own racist imagination. And we miss the realities, the full depth of Black women's stories. Because you are essentializing Black people, you're saying that there is no complexity beyond this. Well, it's going to be no surprise that the audience and the creators alike are going to constantly think that we have represented Black women in the way they are, when really what they've represented is just the same racist caricature over and over again.
Stereotypes like the Mammy, Jezebel, and Sapphire have, however, evolved over time, reinvented in characters like the welfare queen and the sassy black friend.
Oh, you looking for a sassy black friend? Oh, no, I didn't. Well, you got one now, girlfriend.
In the wake of the Black Lives Matter protests, there has been renewed pushback against this kind of racist imagery.
Look, tin of Red Bull, yeah, pour half a Ray, with the rest up with vodka. That is me sorted.
These nails are digging in tonight.
I have ascribed to play the part of the welfare queen, and my mom is playing the mammy. And it's two like stereotypes together, with no like deep interrogation as to why.
It's £10 to get in and drinks cost a fortune.
We just like pop up as like best friends of like our white leads. I remember being on set and almost being asked to give us more sass, give us more attitude. I watched this back and I absolutely was complicit in the propaganda of the anti-blackness.
With the rest up with vodka.
I advocated anti-black-like rhetoric for the sake of capitalism and for the sake of a credit.
My journey with my teeth started at a young age when I had teeth that would break. I had already spent...
Cyrus. For black actors, caricatures are no longer the only parts out there. TV shows like Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, and Insecure feature layered black women in their leading roles. But such complex, multidimensional characters are the exception, while stereotypes, or token black roles, remain the rule. A fact that is at least partly explained by a lack of diversity behind the camera, at the writing desk, and in the director's chair.
One of the problems is that there just really aren't a lot of people of color who are making decisions, who are writing, who are producing, right?
It's like no job. No man. All of this sounds bad, but it's actually really good. It's good vibes.
When you think about a show like Insecure on HBO, Issa Rae does that because she is a black woman. She has black writers, black producers, and so she makes it her business to make sure that the full story is told, the complex parts. That's reality, and we just don't see a lot of that on TV or in film.
The fact that the majority of casting directors are white and predominantly male absolutely adds to the further sort of marginalization of black bodies and absolutely contributes to the misrepresentation of who we are and our stories.
What the hell is Bob Marley salted cod with vegetables, please?
They just call it a different name now. No, I'm not eating Jamaican food made by English people.
And so I think we're turning to the internet because the internet allows us to commune, mobilize, stabilize, educate, decolonize, and free ourselves from the sort of the dominance that is like the white culture.
The internet has offered black artists a space to tell their own stories, and they have proven successful. Web series like Aki and Saltfish and Issa Rae's Awkward Black Girl amassed large followings online, and both shows were eventually picked up by big broadcasters. But it's taken a lot of clicks and likes for TV executives to acknowledge that black women's stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, are worthy of their screen time.
A lot of major networks consider it a risk to tell black stories because they're not always sure that the mainstream will receive them well. Unfortunately, black creators are in a position of having to prove over and over again that our stories are worth telling.
Stop trying to engulf my nose with your
Content created by black women who are incredibly talented but who've often been overlooked by industry is engaging, it's interesting, it's dynamic. And also because it typically doesn't conform to the conventions of industry that have been very narrow and prescriptive, it's more exciting in many ways than what is offered in the mainstream.
The white world, if you will, tells its stories like they are global stories. Whereas when black people tell their stories, those stories are only stories about those people. I think that is something that people really need to question. Because the way white stories are told, the rest of us are supposed to find our humanity in those stories. Why can't white people find their humanity in our stories as well?
I hope we're getting a point here this morning. So you can see this is a deep question with some tough subject matter that may be difficult for many of us to hear. But until we love ourselves, accept the responsibility that comes along with that love, and consciously work to eradicate the hatred between us, we can't expect our lives to have value to anyone else. And although it's not our fault, it is in fact our job to make ourselves over. We are not who the media says we are. Just because we see it doesn't mean that we have to be it. Let's support one another. If we love ourselves, we have a responsibility. Our babies are watching. And one of the best ways to prevent an experience from becoming traumatic is to have a loving support system. And one of the best ways to heal from trauma is to have a loving support system. Before we end the show today, I want all Black women listening to pay attention to the last and final video of our beloved sister, Dr. Ava Muhammad, explaining our origin. We must remember that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. Everybody type that in the chat. A nation can rise no higher than its woman. And no human being comes into this world except that they come through a woman. You can't expect a woman to change if you have not taught her who she is and have helped her to understand why she should accept who she is and to love herself. I thank y'all for being so active in the chat. I got one more video I want to show you all because, like I said, knowledge of self is important. And unity doesn't always mean uniformity. But you can take some wisdom and knowledge from some of these videos that you've seen, even if you're not a Muslim woman, even if you have no desire. Take the knowledge of self, take the love of self, and see what it does to you. See what it develops in you. Let's hope that it develops some love. One more video. I want y'all to check this last one out, and then I'll be back and we're going to close out the show.
I say to you quickly, I want to bear witness today as a Black woman, as an original woman. Had it not been for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan laying down his life to lift up the reputation of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which had been ruined by hypocrites, devils, and weak believers, then the nation of Islam could never have been brought back. We then would have no knowledge of what God revealed to his servant. And without this particular revelation, we would continue to stay on the bottom of society and ultimately be wiped out. And what is that revelation? That revelation is that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. He gave us these words from his teacher. Before there was sun, there was a woman. Allah came out of the womb of darkness with a womb within himself. And as Allah came out of that womb called triple darkness, he had a womb. He studied himself. And from himself, he fashioned woman. She is his first act of creation. And then he writes, this is why you don't understand the woman. You think she's man's woman. She is the woman of God. And in her is the secret of God. That first self-created God made sure, beloved, that no man would ever equal him, because no man after him can come here except through the womb of a female. Sister, we didn't come from nobody's rib. That's for somebody else. And in defining and reinforcing the role of woman through his delivery of the word and through his upliftment of us in all aspects of life, he has liberated us and her power to reflect and carry out the will of God. Finally, it is because of his battle against sexism, one of the four great impediments to self-development, that of all of his amazing supernatural, because he is a superman, trust and believe. But of all that he has done, and there's no time in a year to list it, one of the greatest is the restoration of the Black woman. And that is proof that he is the fulfillment of the prophetic Jesus of 2,000 years ago, because of all of the prophets, all of the men in the Bible, no man had a more profound effect on the woman and the status of women than Jesus. And the Holy Quran lifts his mother in a chapter named for her. Jesus named women to the ministry when it was prohibited. Jesus taught women directly when it was prohibited. Women helped Jesus finance his ministry. And when they crucified him, it was women who stood with him to comfort him. And it was a woman, Mary Magdalene, who the resurrected Jesus sent to the disciples to announce he has risen. Minister Farrakhan has broken all the same rules that the prophetic Jesus broke. He makes women ministers. He speaks directly to women. He takes advice and counsel from women. It was a woman, Dorothy Height, who was first, beloved, to support him and announce a Million Man March. Beloved, magnificent brothers, I know you're going to beat history. It's not going to be just John standing at the crucifixion. We will be with him to the end, and you will be with him to the end. May Allah bless us all with love and the light of understanding. Assalamu alaikum.
Y'all know this good old internet couldn't let us play it all right to the end, but y'all know what I mean. Thank you for listening this morning. I know some of your cages are rattled, and if you're sitting there saying that you think I should have covered more, then you cover it. Go start a discussion group, a blog, or a talk show, but we're going to continue this discussion on this network. And we're going to come out with regular discussions about making over our image as Black women. You can invite me to your discussion. I'm happy to come and share, come and participate. I encourage you to first love yourself, learn of yourself, and accept yourself. Black women are diverse, beautiful beings, and our stories deserve to be heard. That knowledge alone will help you to understand the importance of self-image and self-representation. We have to save our babies, y'all. But first, we have to correct and save ourselves. What will Vice President Kamala Harris's run for the presidency do for our image? I don't know about you, but I don't want to wait to find out. I want to see us begin our makeover now. No matter where you are or who you are, let's begin now. Congratulations to Vice President Kamala Harris. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. If you're interested in the Financial Trauma Boot Camp, we have a sale. If you bring a student, you can take advantage of the discount that's already out there. Let's heal by example. And in my opinion, I think right now, all ratchetness on TV that got anything to do with Black women should be removed. And some of y'all might be saying, well, what's ratchet to you may not be ratchet to me. Guess what? Let's get a group of us in the room. And if we show a video or we show a show on and we see a show and we all can say, nah, that's ratchet, then it needs to be removed. I'm not talking about take away diversity. I'm not talking about making us all the same. I'm talking about ratchetness that degrades our ability to reach our goals. That's all I got to say today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, Brother Ronald, for participating. Thank you, Sister Monica. Thank you, good God. Who else we got here? I saw Sister Dawn. Thank you, Sister Dawn. Thank you, Sister Monica. Nubia Latifa. Thank you. Thank you. Brother Lamont is in the house. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's see. I see so many comments. I'm scrolling up. See if I can find some more. Game Beast is in the house. Good morning, Mom. Mom's in the house. Let's see who else we got here. Okay, it's a bunch of y'all. Brother Robin 11X Minor. Y'all was popping in this chat today. Just thank you. Thank you to everybody. If I didn't say your name, I apologize. But let's do better. All right. And if you like and subscribe, if you like this content, make sure you subscribe. So hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Give a love offering. Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises. If you got anything out of this today, support Black women. Okay, let's make that a habit. And again, congratulations to our sister, Kamala Harris. May Allah bless and protect her and her family. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning for the State of Black Business. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Maybe we'll continue this conversation. Let's see where Allah guides us. All right. Happy Monday, y'all.